Holster meal. Hello. There we go.
Hi,
How's it going?
it's going great. Thank you so much for your patience.
No
For some
problem. No
reason,
problem.
it did not like my laptop.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with Instagram and that, but you're actually the second person who told me that in like a month that they couldn't join from their laptop. First things I want to start out by saying condolences to you and your family
Thank you
on the
so
loss
much.
of your grandmother. I know it's never easy for sure.
That's
I just
true.
want you
She
to
was
know that. Go ahead.
104 years old,
Oh
my
wow.
husband's grandmother.
Oh
Yes.
wow. Well, that's a blessing. 104.
Yes, sir, it is.
Absolutely. But yeah, our hearts and our prayers go out to him, and
Thank you.
thank you for making time to sit down with us today.
Well, I love gun owners. I love when I see people of our race that are supporting our Second Amendments and understand how important it is for us to maintain the ability to protect ourselves, our families, and our home. So thank you
Absolutely.
for what you're doing.
Absolutely. No problem at all. I've been doing this for about 5 years now, and pretty much for the same reason, just seeing the need of our people to be out training, using our weapons responsibly, and defending ourselves. We have a long history and tradition of doing so, and we need to have more people out educating, and I'm just giving them a platform to share it. So we have
Well, thank you.
probably
Thank you
over a
very much.
thousand firearms instructors in the African American community. So
Well,
pretty excited about that. But I did want to ask you, I guess to start out, give us a little bit of your background and what made you decide to run for governor of Ohio.
I apologize. My husband's getting the phone holder so I can
You're all
put the
good.
phone up so I'm not so wiggly here. So, but
You're all good.
But I had two of my foster children that were shot and killed by law enforcement officers.
Sorry to
My
hear.
husband and I have a large family of law enforcement officers and military. Our son is active duty military as well. And
Okay.
after my first foster son was shot and killed, his name was Donovan. And I started having people that contacted me asking me if I would consider running for governor at that time. My husband and I we were just so devastated, to have a child that we knew and that we loved be shot and killed. So we then I said, no, this isn't something I'm wanting to do. I'm going to try to bridge the gaps between law enforcement and our people with mental illnesses. So almost exactly a year later, after trying to facilitate meetings and get together with other government officials that refused to speak to me about how we could solve this issue and how we could bridge the gaps. But almost exactly a year later, my foster daughter, who was 7 months pregnant, was shot and killed. Her name was Takaya by law enforcement officers. And at that time, I said, God, I hear you. I hear
Mhm.
you. I understand what you want me to do, and you will not have to ask me again. So, so at that time, we just started praying and trying to figure out exactly how to go about this. And here I am. Here I am. I have a unique perspective because most parents that have two children that were shot and killed wouldn't be Second Amendment supporters, but I definitely am. I
Absolutely.
definitely am. My husband and I started Ohio Hunting Lodge in 2015. Um, we, just we believe 100% that things would be so much worse for Americans if we lost our abilities to protect ourselves.
Absolutely. It's extremely important now with everything that's going on in the world and the current state of our government, to have that ability to protect ourselves because we cannot always count on others to protect us.
Not
We
at
must
all.
be able to
Not at all.
defend ourselves and our community.
Yep. That's absolutely correct because we've had so much distrust and lack of transparency with our government that we do not want to allow anyone to disarm us. And I say they will only get my guns prying them out of my cold dead hands because we've been through that before, and we do not need to go through our inability to protect ourselves and our families.
Absolutely, not at all. Um, so obviously you're running for governor, and from that seat, there's a lot of Second Amendment laws that you can affect in your state. Um,
Absolutely. And
and
luckily, I'm in Ohio, and we are a very strong Second Amendment state. And what state are you in again?
I'm in South Carolina.
Okay. And how are they with the Second Amendment supporters and things?
We lag behind like Georgia. We just got constitutional carry, so that's a plus. But yeah, we lag like Georgia got it maybe 6 to 8 months before us, and then South Carolina finally came along. North Carolina's the same way, so we won't lead, but we do kind of keep up with the region. So it's getting better now. Constitutional carry. We really don't have any sort of like um, bans on rifles or anything like that. 21 to have your permit. 18 you can open carry. So it's definitely getting better for sure.
That's good. That is good.
One of our supporters is familiar with the Ohio Hunting Lodge. He says he's glad to know it. He's an avid bow hunter, but tends to avoid a lot of outfitters for obvious reasons. He will look you up when he comes to Ohio.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Absolutely. So,
Now, we are not scheduling hunts for the next hunting season because of campaigning, and also, just some of the sickness and disease that our deers have been suffering from here.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, when I was preparing for this, it was very hard to find information on you. And then I saw that you were running independent. Obviously, the videos that were sent with how you were treated at the what was that, like a meeting set up for candidates? Uh,
No, I am running as a Republican. I have always voted Republican.
mhm,
Um, but when I waited, I helped out with President Trump's campaign, and I'm the one that made the It's Okay commercial for people of color to vote
mhm.
Republican.
Okay.
Um, I waited until after his campaign to go to the Ohio Republican headquarters to
Hmm.
announce to them that I was running for governor. And the gentleman he just went crazy.
Yeah.
He just literally went crazy. And it was, it was shocking because I have worked with these people for 20, 30 years, trying to help other Republicans get elected. And
Hmm.
for things to work the way they did for me, it was terrible. But and they have went above and beyond to block me. Um, they've threatened media. They've threatened everybody that you can imagine. They've told the clubs and the organizations not to invite me, not to allow us to speak. Just one thing after the other. And it's and this is how things work. This is how things work, unfortunately. But we are going to change that. Now, when you did a Google search and things like that, you were still having problem finding our information?
So no, I was able to find like your campaign information, but like independent polls and things like that, I didn't see a lot of those. I was able to
Yeah.
find it, but yeah, I saw a lot on some of the other ones, Mr. Ramaswamy and the like. I saw a lot of his stuff,
Yeah.
but I couldn't find a lot of independent information on you. So I was just on the website, just looking through the things that you were able to put out, the photos of you actually using your firearms. One thing I
Yes.
always check for is the firearm safety, and you were spot on with that. So it lets me know you really do use your fire. You really do
Yes,
use
I
your
do.
firearms, not just for photos, for sure. And you own a farm, is that?
Yes, we live in the
Okay.
middle of a 100-acre farm in Appalachia, Ohio.
Okay.
I used to tell my students I live in a log cabin in the middle of a 100-acre farm like Winnie the Pooh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, one thing I will be honest with you: if you were just a politician, I would not have sat down with you. But I can tell that you are actually a person just like everyone else, a family person, and you really do care about what you
Yes, I
say.
do. Yes, I do. And I'm not a politician. I'm a wife, a mother, a military mom, and an entrepreneur. But, more importantly, I'm someone who understands what it's like to work and serve and fight for everything that I have. it was really eye-opening for me to step out and run for governor, because the most experience I've had in politics is helping other campaigns and being elected to school board. I was the
Hmm.
school board president. But we have to stand up. We have to stand up and we have to fight for what we believe in. And I hope that when people see my story, that they understand that. A lot of people are very interested in my story because I will be the first ever Black female elected governor in the United States of America. I will also be the first elected female governor in Ohio. So,
Wow.
this is a very historical race, and people do have a lot of interest because I am making a great way to be elected. I am really, I was the first to announce back in November of 2024, and
Hmm.
people were saying you don't have a chance. Why are you doing this? You don't have a chance. Now, a lot of the news media are betting that I win this race.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's been a drastic change, but still, just like with what you said with the polling results, when they do polls, because Vivek Ramaswamy is their chosen one,
Hmm.
and when they do polls, they don't ask them about Heather Hill. They don't allow them to have the option. Or if they do allow my name to be put in, it's 25% of what is being offered when with the other polling members.
Yeah.
So things are really stacked against me. They're really stacked against me. But what I want people to take away from my campaign is we don't give up. We don't give up. Um, since we've been in this country, it's been a fight to be
Right.
heard. It's been a
Absolutely.
fight to demand our place at the table. But we don't give up. We don't sit back. And a lot of people are like, well, why are you still running as a Republican? Why don't you run as a Democrat where you can be accepted and loved and wanted? Because I don't believe in what they believe in. I'm not going to sell my soul to get elected. I believe that my Lord Jesus Christ called me into this fight, and I'm going to fight it honorably.
Absolutely. I did want to ask a question. I know your son is serving, and thank him for his service.
Thank you.
How concerned are you as far for the Ohio citizens about a potential draft and conflict overseas?
Well, my son's contract is up next month, so
Hmm.
he will be officially out of the military. But when I spoke to him about this, because as any military mom, I was scared to death. But my son said, "Mom, you know what? This is what I signed up for. I am here to protect our country and I want to serve." I'm like, "But you don't want to go to war?" He's like, "Yes, I do. If that's what I need to do, that's what I committed to do. I committed to protect the United States." So, and our allies. So, it's a hard thing to think about, but it gives me a lot of pride in my country and my son to hear him say that he would absolutely step up and do what he needed to do to protect us.
Absolutely. And
Now,
we go
my
ahead.
running mate, he is Darren. Are you able to find that phone holder? It was in one of the bags. But my running mate, Stuart Moats, he is a retired Air Force major.
Okay.
He has his two kids are both serving. His son just graduated from the ROTC program, and his daughter is active duty. So our campaign is filled with military men and women, and we just have a love for our country, just a love for our country, a love for Ohio, and we will do everything that we possibly can to protect our way of life.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, that is
And
certainly
it
good to hear.
and I don't mean to keep interrupting you, but
Oh,
one
no,
other
go ahead.
thing I just thought about, a lot of the reason that so many people are afraid to attack us on our own soil is because of our Second Amendment rights. Because they
Absolutely.
know if they come into the United States, every citizen is going to be fighting against them. We are not a country that's just going to sit back and do nothing. We are going to protect our own with everything that we have.
Absolutely. 100% agree. So. I did want to pivot because I know. Ooh, I think she dropped off. Well, we'll see if we can get her back on, and we'll go from there. Um, so yeah. Uh, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop those questions in the chat. Um, see if we can get her back on. Have a couple more questions. Two more really. That uh, there we go. Let's see. All right, there we go. Well, welcome back in. Oh, it's frozen. Vivek, yes, she is. There you
Oh,
go. There you go. I can hear you now. You're back.
okay. Somehow I lost you. We're having all kinds of issues tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, right before you had dropped off, I was gonna ask you a question about like red flag laws. Are you in support of red flag laws, or rather, what are your feelings on red flag laws?
Explain to me exactly what you mean by red flag laws.
So down in Florida, which is one of the first places I heard about it, it was basically how if you are deemed to be a threat by not by yourself but by someone outside, that they can come and take your firearms, is in the simplest form.
So, a threat to law enforcement or just a threat to anyone?
Threat to anyone.
Oh my goodness. We would never go through for that in
Okay.
Ohio. Never.
Absolutely. Okay, that's all. That's really all I needed to know. Because I mean, it really sounds
No,
outrageous, and
we'd have a gunfight in the yard.
yeah, it's a little more complex than that. But that's the simplest form of it. Like anyone
Oh
could report
my.
in, "Hey, I'm a little concerned about this person," and then they come in. So yeah, well, that's good to know. So we can put that out of the way, and then and, there are questions about the economy and things like that, but that's more of there you're limited to what you can do in your state.
Yeah.
So I won't bore you with those, but I did have one question. As a African American woman, I'm assuming that your family descended from slaves here in the United States.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to get your thoughts on your feelings on reparations and where you stand on those.
Now, I am only three generations from slavery. My great grandparents were slaves on the almond plantation in Virginia.
Mm.
We were brought in from Ghana, Africa. I do not believe in reparations. The people that enslaved my great grandparents are no longer here. My great grandparents are no longer here. I don't even understand how that can be a thing because I don't want somebody coming back on me and saying, hey, your great grandparents did this, that, and the third, and now we want you to pay for it. And I don't think it's fair for anyone else. Now, what are your thoughts on that?
Obviously there was a lot of wealth that was built on the backs of slaves, and
Absolutely.
even not just slavery itself, but even like World War II vets were not given their VA benefits and things like that. And wealth was built and passed down that our people were not able to build and pass down wealth. So there should be compensation for that so that we have control over our own schools. We have more economic power as well. I think that would lower the crime rate. We do a good portion of our crime are poverty crimes. So yeah, I'm definitely in support, which is why I wanted to ask the question. It's always good to know, where your candidates stand and things like that. But no, I certainly understand your sentiment of what's in the past is in the past, and
Yes.
we're moving forward toward the future.
Absolutely. And I don't believe in segregation. I don't believe we should have our own schools. I think that we need to all remember who we are and we're Americans. Um, Under no circumstances do we need to let anyone trick us into segregating ourselves. that is not going to benefit any of us. So I do have a different perspective. You know, as being a Black woman in Ohio, I don't believe that we should try to force our neighbors to pay for something that their great grandparents did.
Right. Well, not so much our neighbors, but more of the United States. Like when there were over 250 slave uprisings in the United States, and it was the actual U.S. government that came in to put those uprisings down. So the U.S. government facilitated and profited from slavery, and much like when the Japanese were put in internment camps, or even Holocaust victims, which I mean, we didn't really even have anything to do with that. Reparations were paid to them. So that's uh, since since here on this soil, that's probably the largest Holocaust. Definitely the one that the United States government participated in for sure. Um, I just was uh, in support of that wrong being made right. Um, but yes, that was kind of the question that I wanted to ask for sure.
And I
Uh,
respect your opinion. I just
no,
completely
for sure.
disagree. I think that we are already so separated. We are already working against each other that if we start to add other things in, it's going to affect who we are and what we bring to the table. So I don't support that. I believe that we need to continue to work to build America as one. We cannot be split, we cannot be separated. We have to work together to protect our country.
Absolutely. No, I certainly understand where you're coming from. And anyone in the chat, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. We do have some comments. Let's see. Undead Prophet says, "I'm glad you don't support reparations." Sunny says, "How about we teach financial literacy in school and home? That is very important."
Absolutely.
Heavy on safety says, "A debt is owed from the government, not our neighbors." I agree.
But
Uh,
this is the thing. Who's going to pay that debt? That's America's going to pay that debt.
mhm.
And who is America? We are America. So we are asking our neighbors to pay this debt.
Yeah, there is another gentleman from South Carolina, and he was running for the South Carolina State Senate, and I think he explained it very well as far as like when COVID hit, there was trillions of dollars that were set aside for that. There was trillions of dollars that were set aside to send overseas to Israel, send overseas to Ukraine. So the money is definitely there. No one was asked to pay any additional taxes to cover those. It was just given and then forgiven, like the PPP loans. It was given and then forgiven. So the money is definitely there without raising taxes on our citizens as well. Hold on 1 second. There we go. All right. So getting back to the Second Amendment, was there anything that you would say that you would do in Ohio to strengthen the Second Amendment?
Well, the way that we're going to strengthen our Second Amendment is by not allowing them to put rules and regulations on what kind of weapons we're allowed to own. Um, I think that the way we're going to keep our Second Amendment strong is by remembering that we have the control. We are the ones that can control if we allow them to take control of our weapons. We need to remember that voters are the ones that are in control, and we have to get out and we have to vote.
No, for sure.
If we give them an inch, they will take a mile. We cannot trust the people that are in government to do what's best for us. We have to fight for ourselves. And I believe that
Absolutely.
100%. And that's why I'm running for governor.
Absolutely. So I won't take up any more of your time. I definitely appreciate you coming in. I will send you over a copy of this so you can, use it as you see fit.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll
Feel
send
free
you.
to edit.
Right, right. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I'll send you over like the unedited version, and then we'll clip it up and get it put out there for sure. But I appreciate your time and good luck on your race.
Well,
That's
thank
in
you.
November 3rd, if I'm not
May
mistaken.
5th is our primary.
Oh, okay,
And
I
I
got
would
you.
just like to encourage everyone, please go to my website. It's Fight Like Hill, Hill, fightlikehill.com. This is a historical race, and I cannot win without your help. I need volunteers, I need donations, I need any and everyone that would be willing to help. This is an uphill battle, but we have to stand up for each other. So again, I'm the only politician that gives out my private cell phone number. I speak to voters up until midnight every night. So in half-hour increments. So if you have questions, concerns, go to my website, Fight Like Hill, get my cell phone number. It is listed on the website there. Make donations, sign up to volunteer, whatever you would like. But thank you so much for giving me a platform and for letting my voice be heard.
Absolutely. And
All
we'll
right.
hopefully we'll be speaking to you again later on after the
Absolutely.
primary.
Absolutely. Anytime you want to talk to me, I would love to talk to you. Thank you
Uh,
again for what you're doing.
yes, ma'am. All right. You enjoy the rest of your night.
You too. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.